Hi, Randy. Thank
Hello.
you for taking the time out of your busy schedule for this short interview. I took the uh, last interview back to my group, and they just have a couple other questions about Asylum Lake, and they also would like to know if you could read an excerpt of Asylum Lake.
That's why I said, yeah, sure. If you want me to, I'll read some of Asylum Lake.
Great. Okay, first question. Can you tell us about the cover of Asylum Lake and how it came about?
Well, I have the great fortune of being able to have some input into that cover. And I had originally thought, of course, like I think that this calls for the vision of a lake and some spooky moon or thunder in the background or lightning in the background, something like that. But I had a friend who's a photographer come and show me some of her work, and I loved the picture of this bridge that I was quite used to, that I've driven over many times, and the structure of it and the girders underneath that supported it. At some point, someone had sprayed the word ghost on it, and when I saw that picture, I just thought, I gotta have that, man. That's kind of spooky. So that's where that came from.
Okay. Do you have a favorite character and why?
Um, Favorite character to write would probably be down to two people. Ned is wonderful to write about because he's very unstable individual and childlike at times, and at other times quite monsterish. So that was fun to write about him. And the other, I think, is probably just the boathouse man. Um, he goes through a lot of changes, and it's interesting to kind of shepherd him through those changes, and that was fun.
Is there Asylum Lake?
I'm asked that fairly often, actually, and yes, there really is an asylum lake. I've always liked the word asylum because it conjures up either like something peaceful, seeking asylum away from uh, the hustle and bustle or problems that are out there. People seeking asylum, so that's an easy one to get behind. And the other side of that is when we hear the word asylum, oftentimes we might think of things like insane asylum, and that fits too. So it's a great word for the combination of the two. And then you asked me if there really was an asylum lake. So I will also say that the asylum lake that there really is just a small lake. It was just off the grounds of a mental health hospital at one point, but I had to have a lake that was bigger than that and have cottages and homes around it. So I said Asylum Lake, but I visualized some other lakes that were bigger and had more population around them.
How do you create such characters like Ned and Bull?
Well, I guess a combination of things. I'm a study of human personalities. I've been a psychotherapist for a long time, and I've been the child in me has always, I played a lot of dramas and games and cops and robbers and all kinds of things when I was growing up, and I just found personalities that I liked. I could see somebody on TV or read about it in a book or something, add a few things, changes around a little bit, and came up with some people that were people you either really wanted to meet and wish you could have as friends, or people you never ever wanted me.
Do you ever get writer's block?
Not really. I've never had anything where it's like weeks or months or something like that I can't write. Usually if I've reached a point where the momentum just isn't going, I can do something else. I can attack a different story. I can work on a website. I can take care of business one way or another. And generally, if I'm stuck one place, I'll go to another place and write there. So I keep going. It's not really stuck. It's sort of like I'm just waiting for the idea to fit in there right. And if it doesn't after a while, I try another idea.
Okay, could you now read an excerpt from Asylum Lake, please?
I would love to. There was a variety of places for clothing to drip dry, and in the process of hanging up Mercedes' clothes, Julia discovered life vest flotation devices, which she would use tonight as pillows. When Mercedes was situated on the wooden floor, she called out, "Mommy, lay by me." I will, honey, I will. Just lay down." Sadie did, and Julia moved her precious daughter's wet hair away from between them and affectionately stroked the child. "I'm sorry, Sadie. I'm sorry about all of this. You've been so good, and I've needed that so much. I've been so hard on you. We haven't had any rest, and tonight I can't even give you a bed. But tomorrow, things will be different. Things will be better, I promise. And while I'm just promising away here, I promise to get new clothes and more toys. We had to leave so fast. I'm sorry we left so much behind." Mercedes was still trembling from the storm, or maybe she was shivering. "We can stay in this house for a while. Not the one we're in tonight, but the big house we couldn't get into." Sadie shifted. "Mama, I'm cold. Lay by me." "All right, honey. Mommy has to get out of her wet clothes first." Julia stood up to check the door before she went to sleep, and when she neared the doorway, her bare feet lightly made contact with the pail on the floor. This made enough noise for Julia to briefly worry that she might have startled Sadie. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, honey." "Mercedes? Hey, Ragamuffin. Are you still awake?" Julia moved in the darkness to her daughter, and bending low, could hear her regular breathing. Thank God, she thought, and began to undress herself. Holding now the nightshirt and panties, the sum total of her personal effects, she draped them alongside of Mercedes after wringing and shaking them out. In that darkness, her breathing was ragged, but she remained standing. She shook her head slowly, her eyes needlessly shut. "Little baby girl, I don't know what you've seen or what you think about what you might have seen or what you'll remember, but please find forgiveness. I'll even take forgetfulness. For myself, too. I wish I could forget. We left with nothing, Mercedes, nothing. We had no money and a half step ahead of the monster man looking for us. We needed to go fast away and far. Maybe there is such a thing as the kindness of strangers, but with the people who were dealt to us, it was in short supply. And dressed as we were, as I was. I know you had such fun riding in those big trucks zooming down the highway, but when you slept, I had to pay up. A mother does what she must. Oh, honey, we've been through enough rain to equal 1,000 showers, but I don't think I will ever feel clean enough. Please forgive me, Sadie. I need you to, because I don't believe I'll ever be able to forgive myself." She knelt and gently felt her way until she touched Sadie. Julia lay down beside her, put her arm around her sleeping girl, and cried in great sobs. Trembling, nearly alone, and so very scared as the night rampaged. Their arrival and nighttime conversation had been witnessed, though, by another, sheltering from the same storm, in the same boathouse, and the same darkness.
Randy, do you have any last words you would like to say to our viewers?
I wrote this book to be an edge of your seat kind of book. I didn't just do it in a few weeks. It took a long time. I tried to get it right. I think I did a pretty good job. I hope you do too, but the main thing is read it and see.
Thank you again.